Tomorrow, you're seeing President Zelensky to sign this deal on minerals and energy that could be hugely important to the United States. Will you take the opportunity to apologize to him for calling him a dictator while praising Vladimir Putin, who is a dictator?
I think we're going to have a very good meeting tomorrow, 11 o'clock, and I think we're going to have a very good meeting tomorrow morning. We're going to get along really well, okay? We have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for him. We've given them a lot of equipment and a lot of money, but they have fought very bravely, no matter how you figure it. They have really fought. Somebody has to use that equipment, and they have been very brave in that sense.
So, how good was that meeting? How good was that meeting? Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by, supporting your girl on this channel. So all credit goes to the creators in this video, guys. Judging by the title of this video, I'm sure you know what we are diving in. Apparently, President Zelensky visited the Oval Office yesterday, 28th February, on the invitation of President Trump, and the purpose of that meeting was to discuss and finalize economic cooperation agreements that will grant United States access to Ukraine's valuable minerals and natural resources. And in addition to that agreement, there were plans to negotiate peace, concerning the war that we all know that's been going on for 3 years now between Russia and Ukraine. But my people, the conversation did not go as planned. The meeting came to an end, and that agreement was not signed, guys. Okay, I don't want to jump in front of the bull. Let's get into these videos. Let's see what these people have to say. And I know you guys have a lot to say because social media is buzzing. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you soon.
World has been left stunned over what we just witnessed at the White House today. How did it go so wrong to the point where Trump physically nudges Zelensky and makes him leave early? Well, to put it lightly, the pressure leading up to this meeting has been building for weeks. There was the J.D. Vance speech in Munich when he broke up with Europe. Then there was America meeting with Russia without Ukraine. Trump calling Zelensky a dictator. Zelensky saying that Trump was stuck in a disinformation bubble. But despite all of that, today was supposed to be big progress. And that massive mineral deal, which was supposed to ensure US support for Ukraine in exchange for their rare earth, that was planned to be signed today. But when they started speaking in the Oval Office, Trump wasted no time in setting the tone. Right off the bat, he questioned whether Ukraine had earned the continuous US support, saying, "We've given you more money than any country in history, and all I can hear is complaints." He accused Zelensky of being ungrateful and even suggested that Ukraine was dragging America into World War III.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
I hope every American is completely baffled and embarrassed by the behavior of J.D. Vance and Trump today towards President Zelensky. I thought it was bad listening to Trump have conversations with other world leaders, but J.D. Vance really took the cake today. He cannot be in conversations with world leaders. He cannot be trusted because everything that he said was extremely inflammatory and it was on purpose. Not only did he show that he doesn't have decorum or respect for a president that is actively fighting for the sovereignty of his nation and his democracy, but he showed that he does not know what's going on. You know, in those group of friends where there's that one leader and then the other one who's just trying to impress that person all the time, making stupid jokes, making fun of people just to get their attention and get a chuckle out of the other one? That's J.D. Vance, just a loser, trying to do anything just to impress Donald Trump so he can get a pat on his head and say, "Good job, boy, you did a good job today." This is the same administration that is actively taking money out of the American people's pockets by taking away jobs from people that actually voted for him, allowing a billionaire who is not an elected official to be able to have access to some of our most sacred data, all for the name of what? Efficiency? That's not about efficiency. If you guys are not seeing what he's doing, he's trying to save as much money as possible to be able to afford tax breaks for the billionaires, for the 1%. This is not about the American people. This is not about making the government more efficient. If it was about that, they would go through Congress. They would go through the legislature. This is all a sham, and we're actively being scammed every single day. And it's time that we stand up for ourselves. Enough is enough.
I don't think we've seen anything like this in American politics. A heated meeting between Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky in the Oval Office on Friday erupted into a shouting match, leading to Zelensky leaving the White House early and the cancellation of a planned news conference. The exchange became hostile when Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance criticized Zelensky, insisting he should be more grateful for U.S. support in what they called a war Ukraine cannot win. Zelensky reportedly said, "You," in his native language during one part of the exchange. Apologies for the foul language. Trump made it clear that continued U.S. support was conditional, telling Zelensky to make a deal or the U.S. is out. After the meeting, Trump doubled down on Truth Social, stating Zelensky can come back when he is ready for peace. The fallout also derailed a major U.S.-Ukraine rare earth minerals deal, which would have granted the U.S. access to Ukraine's valuable mineral resources in exchange for investment and security guarantees. Instead, the agreement was left unsigned. Ukrainians were also told to leave the White House after the tense exchange. Ukrainian officials who had been waiting in a separate room were informed that further discussions would not take place. According to CNN, the group had expected to reconvene over lunch, but instead, White House staff instructed them to leave, while the prepared meal remained untouched on carts outside of the press secretary's office. With Zelensky leaving Washington without a deal, tensions between the U.S. and Ukraine appear to be at a breaking point. The future of American support remains uncertain, as is the fate of the minerals agreement.
Guys, it was clear that these three men, Zelensky, Trump, and Vance, just allowed their emotions to get in the place of the point of the meeting. Because the point of the meeting was for peace against all odds. And obviously, that was not achieved. For the whole 40-something minutes of that conversation, the last 10 to 11 minutes were the most heated. Okay, and the media, every other person that was inside that Oval Office kept mute. So the conversation kept going from Zelensky to Trump to Vance. Everything just started when Vance started saying, okay, you have never been thankful. Okay, you come to the US for help and never for once have you said thank you. So as he started that, everything just started getting heated. And Zelensky, on the other hand, was trying to defend himself. So it just kept going from 1 to 2 to 3. And the point of that meeting was not achieved. I read so many comments. Many people are praising Zelensky for holding his cool during that conversation. On the other hand, many people were against Trump and Vance for attacking Zelensky like that. And there were still some people that were supporting Trump and Vance, guys. And Trump kept saying if he was in office, okay, when the war started 3 years ago, it would have ended maybe 3 days in, maybe 2 weeks in. He would have stopped the war. Or he even said this war would not have started to start with. Guys, what do you think about this? Okay, and one reporter, in the midst of all this, one reporter, the question you could ask was, why was Zelensky not wearing his suit? I mean, the guy is coming from a war zone. You expect him to care about his outfit? I really don't know, guys. What do you think about this in the comment section? Let's keep watching these videos to see what these people have to say.
Trump basically told Zelensky in this meeting that you do not hold the cards in these negotiations. You are not entitled to sit here with your arms crossed and demand things from the United States. And this picture in this meeting encapsulate the U.S.'s relationship not only with Ukraine, but with our European allies at large. Finally, America is demanding to know what is in it for us. Are we actually going to get a return on our investments here? Does this involvement make sense for the United States? And you've got Europe feeling this sense of betrayal, and they feel like they're entitled to that U.S. involvement, and they're entitled to have the United States be taxed to death so that American taxpayers can fund Europe. And These two are no longer allowing that. We are demanding to know what is the return on our investment. We're demanding that American involvement makes sense for the United States, for the benefit of the United States, instead of just by default funding the entire world. And so I'm so glad that we finally have these two in office demanding the accountability that we've been lacking in American leadership for so many years.
As an American, what we just witnessed on TV is disgusting. Donald Trump put Zelensky on national television, worldwide television, to just berate him and shame him for the entire world. This is incredibly messed up. You don't do this to a single person. In less than 5 minutes, that conversation went from a normal conversation to them talking about his clothes, to the downfall to you need to be grateful. You would have lost. You're losing now. Unbelievable. For J.D. Vance to just jump in and just say thank you, when Zelensky has thanked the American people almost every single day. And then the most disgusting thing is, after it was all done, Donald Trump looked at everyone and says, well, this is going to make some great television. I don't know what got into J.D. Vance's head or Donald Trump's head when it came to this meeting. It was almost like before Zelensky even showed up, they already had in their mind what was going to go on and that they were just going to bully Ukraine around. This was embarrassing and disgusting, and I'm shameful to be an American after watching that kind of interaction. Because you know for a fact that Donald Trump's team, his envoy to Russia, did not do this to Putin. And you know for a fact that Trump would not do this to Putin.
It's Joe from Georgia. I just witnessed the most gross, disrespectful interview and press conference from the Oval Office. The president and the vice president basically attacked Vladimir Zelensky, yelling, screaming, saying all kinds of things. Basically, the disrespect was so thick. Every country will be watching and say, is this what we're going to have to dealing with these two? They basically came in acting like they were the mafia. They're going to tell them what to do. Well, guess what? They're a sovereign country also. But I can tell you what's going to happen with us. Now you've got, Ukraine is an ally of the United States. It's not an enemy. If this is how you treat your allies, how do you think the rest of the world's going to feel about it? Anybody who watches it, and I suggest all of you go watch it. It just happened today. Make sure you watch it and you can see the hate, the disrespect, and I will tell you, J.D. Vance, horrible human, but it was disgusting. Go watch it.
I can't believe how Vance and Trump just talked to Zelensky. I'll do a fuller video on it later, but that was not on. That was dark, that was nasty, that was ganging up on him, that was shouting him down, and a lot of people across Europe are going to be outraged by that, and I'm sure lots of Americans are going to feel deeply embarrassed by their president and vice president's behavior. I've got to go now. I'll do more on it later, but that really boils my blood.
One of these men became a symbol of strong leadership and bravery when his country was invaded. The other faked an injury to get out of the draft. One of these men shows integrity in the face of adversity. The other one bullies if he doesn't get his way. It is pretty clear that if the US was invaded like Ukraine was, Trump wouldn't stay with his people like Zelensky did. He would flee because he's a coward. This is a little boy, and this is a grown-ass man. If Trump doesn't think that sovereign nations should be able to defend themselves when they're invaded, I think the same should apply to the US. Canada sent over 40,000 troops to help the US fight in Afghanistan after 9/11. God forbid, if the US ever experiences another terrorist attack or is invaded by another country, they should be on their own. They want to be so independent on the global sphere? Fine, they should be independent. They want to remove foreign aid? Fine. They want to throw a hissy fit for helping Ukraine defend itself? Fine. But the next time the US needs global assistance, We shouldn't give it to them. I mean, they don't really have a very good history of showing up when the rest of the world needs them anyway. They only joined World War II after Pearl Harbor, when it personally affected them. So yeah, I think this is a great idea. If the US wants to put America first, and if it doesn't want to help any other countries, no other country should help them. And to the megas out there who think that that will be fine, that you guys will be able to take care of yourself, honey, you've never won a war on your own. You've always needed global assistance in some respect. So good luck!
Fox just reported that the Zelensky presser is now canceled. What a shock. A statement from President Donald J. Trump. Quote, "We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion. And I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved." Oh, God. Because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. Oh, my God.
Guys, what do you think about this conversation that took place in the Oval Office? Because Trump said a lot of things. He went from saying Obama gave shits, Trump gave javelin. He said Zelensky doesn't have cards. He kept saying if he was in office, this would not have happened. He kept saying if Zelensky does not make a deal, he will fight it out. He's gambling with World War III and all of that. And Trump wrapped up by saying and warning Zelensky that if he didn't make strategic compromises, the situation will spiral out of control. And this will even make it harder for Ukraine to get the support they need from the United States. Trump even maintained that the US has done more than enough for Ukraine, and Zelensky should reflect on that. What do you guys think about this in the comment section? Because going online, some people said that Zelensky was bullied. Okay, and me reflecting on it, I mean, Zelensky was the only one talking for himself, right? Trump had Vance, and the two of them collaborated together, and we're talking to Zelensky. So many people online said the two of them had concluded the matter before Zelensky came, and they knew what they wanted to do beforehand. Okay, so many people supported that motion, and some said, oh, just keep quiet, you're just jealous. And I'm sure those that are speaking like that will probably be MAGA. You know what I'm saying? Okay, back to the matter. So what do you think in the comment section? Do you think this was pre-planned, or do you think it just happened in the heat of the moment? I need to hear from you guys. I have so many intelligent minds on this channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section about this Oval Office meeting, so to say. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and please stay safe. Ciao.